Gucci and, of course, Ohtani straight to the pro ranks right out of high school. 3-2 pitch. That's hammered to left. This ball's heading back. This ball's gone. Welcome to 2025, Shohei Ohtani, as the show continues to roll.
Well, if memory serves correct, did he not hit a home run in his first at bat last spring as well? And
I think it'll sort of be contingent on what he wants. 2 at-bats, 3 at-bats, and we'll go from there and kind of going with that. It'll be good to get Will Smith in there, and I would expect Will to take 2 at-bats.
When you look at just what you've been seeing from Shohei on these backfields, whether taking part of live BPs, and you kind of assess his swing, does it seem like it's similar to the swing pre-surgery, or what have you just been seeing from it?
There's some subtleties that he's kind of been working on from last year when he was really good to you know, when he had the injury to where he's at right now. I think he's in a really good spot. I've seen him take, you know, call it a dozen at-bats, live at-bats, and he's seeing the ball well. I know he's anxious to get back out there and see some major league pitching. He's recovering really well, so he's in a good place.
Are those subtleties to like adjust for the shoulder, or is that stuff just that he was trying to work on just overall approach-wise that he was before he got hurt?
Overall approach, mechanics, just getting him back to where they feel, the hitting coaches feel he's at his best.
He was doing sliding drills. He was having fun with that. Is that with stolen bases notwithstanding, he's still going to have to slide into bases? Is that the adjustment that he's conscious of making?
Yes. Yeah, even last year, obviously after the injury, you saw him kind of run around with his you know, left arm at his side, and so just kind of being mindful of keeping that left hand and not using that to brace himself when he slides is something that he's just really trying to be conscious of.
Why did it work so well when you made the switch with Ohtani leading off and Mookie hitting second? Why did it click as quickly as it did?
You know, I don't know. I think a little bit, obviously it was no other alternative at that point in time once Mookie went down. And Shohei had done it before. And also I just think that at that point in time he was really starting to swing the bat well, and he just really got off to a good start. And even when Mookie came back, it just made a lot of sense. So I don't know kind of, I think at the end of the day, they were just all bought into kind of where they hit in the order, which makes my life a lot easier.
Dave, does he also have to not brace himself with the right hand too because he's pitching?
No, because I think the thing is that when you slide with your right leg leading, it's typically the left arm that goes down, and it's not really the right. So the right doesn't take the brunt of the force.
Mm-hmm. Bob, throwing a bullpen this afternoon. If all goes well, how fast do we see him back in games?
I hope sooner than later. Excited for Bobby to take this first step. I don't think it's been that long as far as costing him, as far as his buildup. I'm confident that the mindset, the mentality, the fear, he'll be able to manage. But I think that once he gets past this, it's more going to be on him and how his comfort level is.
When you're on Ohtani, like, what are your expectations for him as a hitter this year? Like, do you have to temper him at all now that he is going back to pitching and he does have the shoulder thing, or like, are you pretty confident that he can still be about as productive as he was last year, even with how high of a bar that was?
I think he can be as productive. I don't think he's going to get the same number of at-bats, plate appearances, given that he's going to be pitching. I don't think he's going to steal as many bases. Just appreciating the fact that he does need to pitch and saving his legs. But as far as kind of performance per plate appearance, I still think he can be just as productive, and I'm sure Shohei is expecting the same thing.
Do you have a kind of a number in mind of how many plate appearances fewer, or how often you'd give him time off?
You know what, Bill, I don't. I think the only thing we have to go on is when he was with the Angels and kind of doing the two-way thing with them. The world's certainly a lot different now versus then. I think for me, it's kind of continued conversations. I just think it's unfair to everyone to kind of put a number on it where I really have no idea.
With Will Smith,
Do you think it'll help kind of keep the rest of your lineup fresher if he does have to get some days off and you can rotate a couple of others in the DH spot?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, is that when he does get off days, we still can backfill with a lot of good players. Whether it's Will Smith or any other player that, might need to get some at-bats. I just don't know if it's going to be before a start day, to prepare after a start day. There might be so I just don't know any of that stuff right now.
Have there been any conversations about lining up Freddie Freeman's days out of the field with Ohtani's days, maybe out of the DH spot?
I've thought about that. I don't know how it's going to play out given where Freddie's going to be at, where Shohei's at, but certainly when you can supplant Freddie in at the DH to give him a blower off his feet to get Ohtani out, that makes a lot of sense. I just don't know yet how that's going to line up, but yeah, it's certainly a good thought.
Have you finalized Rocky's next outing?
Yeah, Roki is going to pitch Tuesday. He's gonna pitch behind Yoshinobu. So talking to both guys, they feel very good about facing major league hitters, and we'll set up an exact inning for Roki to get prepared, so he can kind of prepare for those 3-4 innings, something like that. But they'll both pitch in an A game, and they both have been talked to and asked about, and they both feel very good about it.
With Will Smith, are there any limitations on him today as he passed? I mean, imagine he's passed all the running tests, things like that, but does he have to keep anything in mind about maybe movements, running the base path, things like that?
No. I think just be a regular player, but I would say probably erring on the side of more cautious than aggressive.
Is the ankle still bothering him, or is it just like in a place where it's playable at this point?
I just don't think it's something that's going to go away anytime soon. So it's just it is what it is, and we're hoping as time goes on at some point, but it's not impeding at all.
Is it just like a sprained ankle?
It's a bone bruise.
What have you seen out of Muncy this spring? And when you look back at his year last year, what do you take away from? He was kind of pretty productive when he played, but he had the injury. Did it give you some confidence seeing that when he did play, he looked a little bit better than he had the previous couple of years?
Yes, I think Max looks great right now. I think he looks good defensively, offensively. I like where he's at. I think that his mechanics, he's worked really hard with the guys to kind of control his backside to not get too far forward going at the ball. I see a shorter swing. He's always controlled the strike zone, and like I said, I think it starts with him physically. Right now, he's in a good place. So let's just, plan on kind of sustaining that.
Dave, you guys used, I think, 38, almost 40 pitchers maybe last year, and you weren't the only team that did that. Why do teams need more pitching to get through a season than they did when you played? It's almost like double sometimes.
Well, I think the first part of that answer is pitchers just haven't gone as long as they used to, which we all know. The other part of it is the max effort type pitchers, which we're seeing, at young ages through the big leagues to the big leagues, more propensity for injury. There's just only so much a body can take, and which is causing a lot of injuries, IL stints. And so with that, we're fortunate enough, we did go through 38 pitchers last year, and we just got a great amount of depth, but I don't know if it's an epidemic or it's certainly commonplace in our industry.
Is it hard to know sometimes what you have in a guy if he's only up for a game or two, and then you got to send him out, or?
No, not necessarily, because I mean, for me, speaking for the organization, our guys are very good about getting us information on who the player we're getting, and I think we do a good job of learning them. But that's also part of the the CBA as far as options and having optionable players, and that's kind of part of the process for certain guys. That's their kind of their fate until they run out of options.
About the rookie, you mentioned the innings, but like, what's the pitch count like?
You know, I don't know the pitch count, but I think the goal is probably 3 innings and maybe touch a 4th inning. So, you know, that's the goal.
Is that the innings he's comfortable to face to, or he need to face to?
At this point in time, yes.
Yama will be in that like 3-4 inning range too.
Yoshinobu, the goal is to get him through 4 innings or into the 4th inning. All right, thanks guys. Yep.
それでは次の動画でお会いしましょう。このように大谷翔平選手は今シーズン完全復活に向けて着実に準備を進めています。昨年右肘の手術を受けたことでシーズン終盤はバッターに専念していましたが、今年はついに二刀流としての完全復活が期待されています。すでに打撃ではライブ BP 実戦形式の打撃練習に参加し、MLB ピッチャーたちとの対戦を見据えた調整を行っている状況です。昨年のシーズンではすでに素晴らしい成績を残していましたが、手術後の調整によってさらに進化した姿を見せることができるのか、大きな注目が集まっています。大谷選手のスイングは昨年の好調時と比べても大きな違いはないようですが、細かい部分での修正を加えているとのことです。特に怪我をする前途後でのフォームの違いを意識しながら、より理想的な形に近づけるための調整を言っているようです。打撃コーチ陣も現在の大谷選手のスイングがベストの状態に近づいていると評価しており、彼自身も MLB ピッチャーとの対戦を心待ちにしている様子です。リハビリの経過も順調で、試合でどのような結果を残せるのか、ファンとしては今から期待せずにはいられません。そしてもう一つ注目すべきなのは、大谷選手の走塁や守備の面での意識の変化です。昨年の終盤、彼は左腕をかばいながら走っていたことが話題になりましたが、今シーズンはスライディングの際の動きを見直し、左手を使わずにプレーすることを意識しているようです。これは再び怪我をするリスクを避けるための調整であり、今後の長いシーズンを戦う上で非常に重要なポイントになります。特に盗塁を狙う場面やクロスプレーが発生する際には、これまで以上に慎重な判断が求められることでしょう。大谷選手はこれまでも状況に応じた柔軟なプレースタイルを見せてきましたが、このような細かい調整がシーズン全体の成績にどのように影響を与えるのかが注目されます。また、今シーズンのドジャースのチームバランスも非常に良い状態にあります。昨シーズンは怪我人が多く、打順の組み替えを余儀なくされる場面もありましたが、大谷選手がリードオフとして機能したことで、打線全体の流れがスムーズになりました。特にムーキー・ベッツが負傷離脱した際に大谷選手がその役割を担い、復帰後も打線が安定したことは、チームにとって大きな収穫だったと言えるでしょう。今年も同様に、柔軟なオーダーを組めることは間違いありません。フレディ、フリーマンとの連携も含め、どのように打線を組み立てていくのか、監督やコーチ陣の戦略にも注目が集まります。さらに、今シーズンのドジャースには、新たな戦力として佐々木朗稀と山本由伸という2人の日本人投手が加わっています。彼らのピッチングがチームにどれほどの影響を与えるのか、期待が膨らみます。すでにメジャーリーガーたちとの対戦に向けた準備は整っており、特に佐々木朗稀は3、4イニングの登板を予定しているとのことです。彼の強し速球が MLB の打者たちにどのようなインパクトを与えるのか、今から楽しみでなりません。山本由伸もまた、先発ローテーションの一角を担うことが決定しており、日本での圧倒的な成績をそのまま MLB の舞台に持ち込めるかが注目されています。また、ウィル・スミスの DH 起用による柔軟な打線の構築、そして投手陣の層の厚さも今シーズンのドジャースをさらに強くする要素の一つです。昨年は約40人ものピッチャーを起用する必要がありましたが、今シーズンは安定したローテーションを構築し、チーム全体の負担を軽減することができるでしょう。長いシーズンを戦い抜くためには、投手陣のやりくりが非常に重要になりますが、今のドジャースにはそれを可能にするだけの選手層があります。このように、今シーズンのドジャースはただ強いだけではありません。大谷翔平を中心に、個々の選手が進化し、より一体感のあるチームへと変貌を遂げようとしています。大谷選手自身も、昨シーズンとは異なるアプローチで試合に臨むことが求められるでしょう。二刀流としての役割をより効果的に果たすために、どのように調整していくのかがシーズンを通じて注目されるポイントになります。彼の適応能力の高さを考えれば、 どのような状況でも結果を出し続けることが期待できますし、ドジャースという強力なチームの中でさらに輝きを増す可能性は十分にあります。皆さんは今シーズンの大谷翔平選手、そしてドジャースの活躍をどのように予想していますか？ぜひコメント欄で意見を聞かせてください。試合の展開や大谷選手の成績を予想するのも野球ファンにとっての楽しみの一つですよね。あなたの予想が当たるかもしれませんし、違った視点からの意見を聞くことで新たな発見があるかもしれません。そしてこれからも最新情報をお届けしていきますので、チャンネル登録と高評価をお忘れなく。それでは次の動画でお会いしましょう。